Hare Krishna. Who's ever not here, yell Haribol. Hare Krishna. So now we've come to a very peaceful place called Pili Pokhar. How many people have been on Navadip Mandal Prikam? What do they call the kunds in Navadip and Gormandal? Pukur, right? The Brijbasis have corrupted it to Pokhar. So this is Pili Pokhar, Pili Kund. Pili, for those who don't know Hindi, means yellow. So this place became known as Pili Pokhar. So up there in the temple, they won't allow microphones and things. There's a lot of commotion going on. Now it's become very popular temple. So this is that. Actually, downstairs there's a beautiful place where Vrindavan had his palace. But on top of the hill, there's a very nice place for temples. So the temple is on top of Vrindavan's palace. If you know where to go, you see beautiful deities, Vrindavan and Kirtidan and Sridham. Sridham is Radharani's older brother. If you know where to look, across from there is Astasaki Mandir. I only know 3 Astasaki Mandirs. One is in Vrindavan near Pili Pokhar. Those who were with us the first day we went there. Then in Radhakund there's also Astasaki Mandir. And here in Barsana, by the big staircase, at the end of the big staircase around the corner is another Astasaki. So Radharani, she used to sit on the top of Vrindavan's palace and she would gaze toward Nandagam. And Krishna, he would sit on top of the Nandagam palace. Because from upstairs, we did have facility to show you. You can look across if you can see Unchagam, and way in the distance you could see Nandagam. So Krishna used to stare toward Varsana. So when we went around behind the temple, you may have noticed there was some old structure there. That was the original temple. And then you'll see there's another, near that you'll see another dome. That was the second temple. And now there's a very glorious temple there. Because after Radharani wouldn't move, then I've forgotten his name. There was some big businessman. We passed his palace when we first started on our Prikama. There was some old broken down palaces. That was his palace. I'm not remembering his name. And then before my very eyes, I watched one nice sadhu in Vrindavan named Janaki Das. He doubled the size of the courtyard. You saw there was one courtyard, then there was a line of colonnade and with shelter, and then on the other side, double sized courtyard. He doubled the size of the courtyard and made another hall. You saw down below, you may have seen down below, there was another hall. So that was all done before my very eyes. So that glorious temple is there. Now they even have, what do you call it? Cable car. Cable car. You stand in line for an hour and a half and you go ride for 10 minutes. And there were so many interesting, unfortunately, because it's all just confusion, there's so many interesting paintings there. You may have noticed on one side there was one painting. There's a darkish gopi with the basket and bowing down before Radharani. What happened was Radharani was a little upset with Krishna. So Krishna was staying not far from here. There's a place called Prem Sarovar. Krishna was staying there. And he told Lalita and Visakha, you have to go there and somehow break her mind. So they went there, but Radharani didn't want to have anything to do. She said, this guy's not only black on the outside, he's black on the inside, he's black through and through. He has cheated me so many times, I'm not going to have anything to do with this black fellow. So they came back to Prem Sarovar, they told Krishna, it's very difficult. The Krishna whispered some secret words in their ears. So Radharani was sitting there with her friends in Barsana. And suddenly there was a beautiful flower girl coming. And she was calling out, oh, who will take my malas? Who will take my garments? Just by the touch of my garments, all cares and anxieties will go far away. So Lalita and Visakha, they called the attention of Radharani. Did you hear her song? And Radharani looked. He said, there's only one person in the whole universe who can make such beautiful garments. So she said, you bring this flower girl here. So the flower girl came and she took the garland and she put it on Radharani's neck in such a way that her hands will have to touch Radharani's neck. She's placing the garland. And Radharani thought, only one person in the whole universe has touched like this. So Radharani said, this Malini, her garlands are very beautiful. We should reward her properly. Just see, she's not properly dressed. We should give her new cloth today. So you please take off all this old cloth. And this Sakhi, she began to move backwards, So what are you afraid of? We're all girls here. There's no harm for girls to be undressed in front of another girl. And he's holding on to her shawl and holding on to everything. And the girls say, come on, we're going to get you new clothes, Somehow or other, they took away her shawl, then they opened up her choli, and all these flowers fell out. Inside the choli was a whole bunch of flowers. And they saw that it's Nandanandan. And all the Sakhis began to laugh and clap, how they made fun of it. Radharani made fool with this rascal. Like that, so many millions of pastimes took place. Most famous one is of Barsana is Holi. Mainly everyone celebrates Holi on the Gaur Purnima day. It's also known as Holi Purnima. But in Braj, Holi takes place different places, different times. Before the Purnima on the Nomi day, Holi takes place here in Barsana. Right? All the Brahmins from Nandagaon, they get all dressed up, right? And they come in a big procession down the road they come here to Pili Pokhar. And they sit and have big feasts, lots of kachuris and puris and samosas. What a nice feast they have here. And then in the afternoon, they put nice pugris, turbans, with rolled up gamchas and rolled up towels inside. And they have these shields. In old days, it was rhinoceros skin shields. Now I'm sure they're rubber, but they have all kinds of colored tinfoil, all of beautiful designs on them. And in the afternoon, they take the flag they bring the flag from Nandalala's Janda, we call it Janda flag. And they take that janda and they come charging up the big stairway that we skipped. They come charging out that big stairway. And they come charging into the temple room, and you saw there's a gallery all around. And up there they had these big pots of color. Because there's one tree that grows here in Braj called Palash. When we go to Shamdak, because Shamdak means Palash, it's not a name for Palash. You see the Palasa trees. In English, it's called Flame of the Forest. Just after Holi, and just before summer starts, they burst into beautiful reddish, orangish flowers, just shaped like ferret peaks, like this. They just hang down. And they collect those reddish orange flowers, and they dry them, and they save them till the next year. And then for 3 days, they soak them in water. And the water becomes bright yellow and very fragrant. And Prabhupada says, syringe-like instruments. In Hindi, we say pitchkar. And they have their pitchkaris, and they draw the yellow color out of those things, and the Nandagamwalas come charging into the temple room and just from all the side of the ramparts, they're just it's very fragrant, natural color. Without soap, in 2 days, 2 washings, it'll wash up. With soap, it'll wash up. Now, unfortunately, all the powders they throw, this all. Of course, there's a green movement, so they should use natural powders. Anyway, if you're caught, I don't come in. I used to when I was younger. My older days, if that stuff gets in my nose, then I'm gone for 2 weeks. So anyway, they run around the courtyard. They come before Radharani. They bow Krishna's janda before Radharani. They tie Radharani's garland around the janda. Then they run upstairs and they run all around. And then they're throwing colors from everywhere. And they sit down in the middle of the courtyard, the Nandagam Brahmins on one side and the Varsana Brahmins on the other side. And they sing all these holy songs. And they have these guys with 100 kilos of color on each corner. Somebody's got red, somebody's got yellow, somebody's got blue, somebody's got green, pink, and they take a piece of cloth and they fill it up with color and they just go. And that time of the year, the wind is blowing very, very briskly. So you see this big red cloud come from this side, then you see a yellow cloud come from this side, then a blue cloud from the side, and a pink cloud from this side. And they're all blowing in the wind. It just looks like you're in Golokdham. And those guys down below singing, they become completely black and blue. You mix all colors together, it becomes black. So they become just completely black and blue. Then, after they sing all these, and they're sitting in the Red Sea, the whole temple room floor where we were dancing, it just becomes the Red Sea. And they're just sitting in that, and they're covered with color, black and blue. Then they come charging down the hill. And then all the Brahmanis who are married in Barsana, you're born in Barsana, you can't play. Those who are married in Barsana, they have these big latis like this, not these little tiny ones like you got scared, but like this big latis. And they have their best little shawls with little silver and gold fringes like this, and beautiful skirts with all kinds of jari work in them. And they come down, and those of you who don't know Hindi, you're very lucky because you don't want to know what they're saying to those girls. And it's because it's not their wives beating it, but their wives' sisters. But they know what rascals they've been. So they just take your, let me get a demonstrate a little bit. They have a big heavy latis and they go like this. And their skirts are dancing, their veils are dancing like this. And the guys get down with their shields, they're like this. And there's like 3 or 4 girls on one guy. Like this. What? Maybe you saw on the wall, there's one painting there. It's an amazing scene. Yeah. And then some guy will come and he'll stop them, and then somebody else will get there. Because they know they're not the They know what rascals they've been. There's this special woman bonding going on between. They know what rascals they've been. So, and these girls, they have a lot of power. They don't have Maytag washing machine. They're doing the wash like this, making the rotis like this. So they got a lot of power. And the whole street, up and down the street, is called Rangli Gali. Rangli means colorful. Rangli Gali. They're all going up and down the street and beating the men like this. You don't dare want to get into that road. You get in the road, they'll come with their lathi and poke you in the belly. Pow! I had it happen, so I know. We were trying to get out early. The girls didn't like us in a way. It's an amazing scene. One time we brought Kusamataji and Devi Shakti and Devi Shakti's daughter. Somehow they survived. And they were very happy. They survived Latmar Holi. It's called Latmar Holi in Barsana. And the last time I came, it's been years and years, because that's powder gets on my nose, I'm gone. So it took us 2 hours just to get out of the park. You can't even get near this place. They park you out on the road, but to get there and get out of the parking, it took us 2 hours. So, at least once in a lifetime, you have to see Latmar Holi. Kusamaji, that time, she was head of the Women's Commission, and she said, we should do this in Iskcon. We'll solve a lot of problems. So then the next day, all the Barsana Brahmins go charging down to Nandagam, and they sit in Yasodhakund and same thing. Then they come charging up, and you can see them coming through the village. You're upstairs in the temple. If you look down, you can see everybody's throwing colors from the rooftops. You see the color showering. You can't see the guys, but you can see the colors showering down. You can follow the path through the streets. You can see the colors falling. And finally, they come charging over the temple. They bow before Krishna and Balaram and wrap their garland around. They again sit down in the Red Sea, and the same thing goes on. And then they go downstairs and there's Latmar Holi. It's a big fun. So that's on the Dasami day. Then the Ekadasi day is Holi in Monkey Bihari. And I've been there, it's very nice. They don't target it, but here they target a particular gender and color. But there they're just throwing color. Everywhere throwing color and having fun. And then after Ekadasi, then whole branch goes crazy. There's different Holi in Java. That's the day after Holi. 2 days after Holi in Java. Day after Holi in Baladev. That's the interesting one. They rip the shirts off the men. They soak them in the color on the floor and smack them. They call it Dauji Haran. Dauji Bandhu. Very funny. Holi is there. And then on the Panchami day, they call Rang Panchami. Gokul, they have Holi. Like that, it goes around and around. So many things. And Janamashtami is an incredible festival. You could see how to celebrate Janamashtami. Because they come, first of all, you have to spend the whole night. If you want to see the Janamashtami Abhishek, you have to be there the night before. And all night, first of all, they have a beautiful flower palace. Just like we were lucky today. We saw the deities came outside and the nice decorations were there, so like that. They have a nice flower palace and everyone's there dancing and singing their hearts out. Then they close, then they put the deities to rest. And then in that big courtyard where we were, there's 5 kirtan parties, one in each corner and one in the middle. One of them, so everyone sort of gravitates towards one. That becomes very big, then somebody gravitates over that, and the center one becomes big, everyone gravitates to that one. And then on the back courtyard is all these, you'll sit there and you look at those guys and those girls. These guys come from Rajasthan, and they dress themselves up in these beautiful Janamashtami outfits with skirts. It must be like 10 meters long. Because they spin around and the skirt just goes like this, silk satin skirts. They just go like this. spinning and spinning. Then they stop, and the skirt keeps moving and wraps around like that. Then they go, and it unwraps. Then they spin the other way. The skirt is going like this and like this. There's a guy or something? Really, it's a guy. So this is going on in the back courtyard, then the front courtyard, and kirtans are going on. And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, all the Brahmins from Varsana come and sit. And they sing old Janamashtami. They have big songbooks with big letters like this. They sing all these nice songs. You see how to celebrate. Everybody's dancing and singing their heart out. You know Radharani's coming. They dance and sing their heart out all night long. Last time I went around midnight, they locked the door. So if you're not there night before, you can't see. And then around 4 o'clock in the morning, the curtain shudders a bit. Everybody jumps to their feet. We happened to come. The first time I ever went, we stayed the whole night, and we went up on the roof and slept, and we came back down. So we were right on the edge. We were far edge. But as soon as that curtain rustled, everybody jumped up. And we were taken off our feet, and we were pulled right in front of the deities. And they pulled open the curtain, and they began this abhishek. And we went 15 feet over this way. We went 12 feet back over this way, and our feet were never touching the ground. And I was with a 65-year-old man from Singapore named Sena. He was having a heart attack, but I'm used to it. This is just India. That's just that bar. It's just that way. So I was having a good time, just going like, our feet were never touching the ground. We were going like this. We just kept right in the center the whole time. We started on the edge, but we were pulled right into the center. Sena saw that I was just laughing, so that he just relaxed and started laughing. We were just going back. Then they close the curtain, and they open the door, and everybody comes charging through, and they give you charnas. So if you're not there the night before, you can't see it. You can see how to celebrate Janamashtami, Radhastami, singing and dancing the whole night. Very wonderful festival. So now we've come here to Pili Pokhar. Now you may know that Radharani, every day she goes to cook for Krishna in Nanda. Because she has a benediction from Durvasa Rishi. You know that story. I don't have to tell that story. I have to tell that story. Yes? I have to tell another story? Oh, no. Well, one time, you know Durvasa Rishi, he's very famous for being angry. No? So Durvasa Rishi came to Braj one time with this twisted hair that we call jata. He had a big jata on top of his head, and a big knot in his beard, a very fierce look on his face. And he was carrying a little wooden stick, like this, so he can put his hand for chanting japa. Very fierce look, and all the gopikas ran away. We hear the sound system fainting here about it. So everyone ran except Srimati Radharani. She told Baba, Beto Baba, sit down Baba, Beto Baba. Then she made a little clay kitchen. Just like I remember all my sisters when they were little girls, they had little clay kitchens, huh? You had a little clay kitchen when you were young? Yeah. So this is Radharani's clay kitchen. Yes. And she made little clay pots and pans, and she made clay laddus and clay samosas and clay puris and clay sabji and clay chutney, everything made out of clay. And she made a little clay thali, and she put little katoris, little clay, and she put all the things around. She put so many laddus on it, and a little flour and a glass of water, and she brought it to Baba, and she said, "No, Baba, no, Baba." She's all clay. Take it, Lali, it's all right, Lali. No, Baba, no, Baba. And she took one of those laddus and jabardasted it. By force, she just pushed it into Durvasa Rishi's mouth. Clay laddu. Durvasa Rishi, he never tasted a laddu so sweet in his whole life. And right from his heart, he gave benediction. Because that blessing from the heart is very, very powerful. I've been here in Bharat for 40 years. I've seen all the Bharati children. They're very tricky. In the morning, they go to their auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, mama, papa. What they do? They used to anyway. They bend down and what? Touch their feet. And the oldsters feel so happy. Whole rest of the day, they're going to drive them nuts. But in the morning, they feel so happy. They come and touch their feet. Aishman Baba, you live a long life. They get blessing. These children are very tricky. They get blessing from the heart, very powerful blessing. So Durvasa Rishi, right from his heart, he said, Ari Lali, whatever you cook will be just as sweet as nectar, and whoever tastes your cooking will never get any disease. So the parents are always worried that the children will get sick. It's like when COVID was there, everybody was worried. So all the Brishbazis insisted that Radharani has to cook for Krishna. Because then he'll live for a long time, he won't get COVID, and we'll be very happy. So every day, Radharani got this benediction from Durvasa Rishi. So every day she comes to cook. And every day when she comes to cook, then Yasoda Maya, she just feels so happy. And she thinks it would be so nice if we made the wedding between Radharani and my little Lala. Every day she considers this in her heart. One day she couldn't control herself. And she just grabbed Radharani and gave her a big hug and began to smear her arms with turmeric, haldi. Those are from Bharat. We know what that means, huh? Now she's betrothed. No? If Radharani saw this, she's just a little girl. So she didn't know marriage and all this. I don't know if I'm ready for this, And she just slipped her hands out of Jasoda's hands. She ran down the street to Barsana. And she came here to this kund and she began to wash her hands. Now, turmeric, haldi is something, once it's in you, got it, you can't get it out for anything. Is it? So she was just washing and washing and washing and washing and washing. And the whole kund became pili, yellow. That's how it became known as Pili Pokhar. And some of the Brishvasis, they saw Radharani's got haldi all over her arms. That means she must be betrothed to Krishna. So they ran up to Vrisabhanu's palace. They began to congratulate Vrisabhanu and Kirtida. And they were so shocked. Then Radharani came and she was wearing her shawl in such a way that her arms are hidden, And then they pulled open her shawl and they saw that her arms were all yellow. Let's try this mic. Okay, our mic is fainted hearing this pastor. Hare Krishna. Does it get any louder? Can you hear everyone? Anyway, this is a peaceful place here. So then they thought, well, we have to send some gift back to show our acceptance for the betrothal. So they got a tray and they filled it with so many beautiful ornaments and necklaces and with diamonds and especially so many pearls. And they sent it back to Nandagam. And everyone Nandagam saw this basket coming. And they thought, oh my goodness, this means that they've accepted the betrothal. And they came charging up to the palace. They began to congratulate Nanda and Yasoda on the betrothal. And they came up with this big tray of beautiful jewelry of so many pearls. And Nanda Baba, he looked at it. And he said, oh my God, now we have to send something back in return. Where are we going to get that kind of opulence? But everybody was coming into the palace, so they got busy taking care of their guests. But Nandalali overheard the conversation. So he went and pulled all the pearls out of the jewelry, and he planted it in a field. Because in Hindi, pearl means moti. So there's a place near Nandagaon called Motikund. And he planted all the pearls there. When all the guests went away, then they saw the pearls were missing. Nanda Baba thought only one person could do this. And Nanda Lala came and he said, Lala, we'll give you lots and lots of sweets and you won't get any trouble. you just tell us what happened to all the pearls. No, Baba, I'm not trying to hide anything, Baba. I took them, Baba. I planted in the field you plowed this morning. Arey Murk Lala, foolish boy. Pearls don't grow in the ground. They grow in the sea, in the oysters. Huh? No, Baba, this is branch. I know they'll grow. Baba, come, Baba. And he took Nanda Baba by the finger. They went out to Moti Kund, and they saw all these beautiful pearl plants coming with beautiful pastel-colored flowers. Then the flowers are falling off, and little fruits began to grow, little beautiful pearls of pink and yellow, all pastime, beautiful pastel colors, yellow and green and light blue. And so many beautiful pearls. They filled up bullock carts to send back to Barsana. That everybody in Braj was just ecstatic that Radha and Krishna are going to get married. And Mother Purnamasi, she was watching this whole thing because she's the one who arranges the Leela. But this Leela just took a life of its own and went on without her control beyond what she could handle. And she said, what am I going to do now? If Radha and Krishna get married, then the Parakiya Bhav is lost. We sing every day, Parakiya Bhave Brajeti Prachar. That if Radha and Krishna get married, then the Parakiya Bhav is lost. That's the most luscious, highest thing. Then Purnamasi got an idea, because she's the guru of all the Brishvasis. And she thought, without getting my blessing, they won't do anything in Braj. And she figured it out what to do. So they all came to get Purnamasi's blessing. And Purnamasi said, I have looked at the charts today, and it's a very inauspicious day for marriages. Any couple who gets married under these stars, that marriage will not last. They'll have a lot of trouble. And there's still plenty of, after all, they're just children. We have plenty of time. You just wait for a while. Somehow or other, slowly, she wound the whole Leela down, and the Parakiya Bhav was rescued. So this place came known as Pili Pokhar. Sometime after that, Krishna was herding his cows. And he came walking along the path just nearby here. And he saw this yellow kund. He didn't ever remember a yellow kund here. And there was some special energy coming out of this kund. He couldn't understand what it was. So he went down to investigate. He got down, he put his face up to the water. This beautiful fragrance was coming. Some special energy was there. He went down, he finally went down into the water. He went down the steps. After a while, he was just going down, and finally, only his peacock feather was above the water. You could tell where he was, going like this. Then he came out of the water. His whole blackish body had turned golden. His whole blackish body had turned golden. And he began to cry, oh, Sham, where are you? Sham, where are you? He was not only changed color of Radharani, but he took that bath and he was saying, oh, Sham, where are you? And all the birds and bees and monkeys around this kund, they were all shocked. They were all just staring at Krishna. In this yellow color and calling out for Sham. And they were all totally amazed. Everyone was totally amazed. But like all magic potions, after a while they begin to wear off. So this was just the hint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Krishna gave a little hint. This kund is so special. This is where it's hinted that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appear soon. Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Srupam. Radha Bhava Duti. Duti means luster. And Bhav. He's Suvalitam. He's decorating himself with the Bhav and luster. He's Krishna. Nomi Krishna. He's Krishna himself. But with the Bhav and luster around it. The hint is here. So then Krishna finally, he came out of that. He returned to his blackish color and he went off herding his cows. So this is a very, very special one, heralding the appearance of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared as the combined form of Radha and Krishna, to give what no one else has ever given. Pure Braja Prem. This Braja Prem is very, even Lord Brahma. We heard about Lord Brahma becoming bewildered. Even Lord Brahma was bewildered. But Lord Chaitanya is giving it very freely. Anarpitam charim chara. Anarpitam, it wasn't given. We know we do both arpan. Anarpitam, it wasn't given. Charim chat for a long time. But now Unata Ujjala Rasam Savakti Stream is giving the glory of his own Braja Bhakti. Samarpayatu. He's giving it freely. Before Anarpitam wasn't given. Now Samarpayatu Unata Ujjala Rasam. Sounds so sweet. Unata Ujjala Rasam. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has translated ras as taste. Unata Ujjala Rasam. You can just taste it. The glory of his own. Haripurta Sundara Duty Kadamba Sandipita. He's glowing. Kadamba means, in Sanskrit, it means a large quantity. That's why that flower is called Kadamba. It's a whole. It's not one flower. It's a whole ball of flowers. Just the color of Radharani. So Haripurata. Purata, another word for gold. Haripurata Sundara Duty Kadamba Sandipita. He's glowing. Gold is so attractive, But we can just imagine Mahaprabhu, when his arms are stretched, it says he was 10 feet tall. Just huge. Haripurta Sundar Duty Kadanda. He was shining with the beauty of a large quantity of gold. We just imagine how attractive. Haripurta Sundar Duty Kadanda. Saravriya Kandare Spiritu Vasachinandana. Rupa Goswami gives us this blessing that may that son of Sachi in this golden complexion, always Kandara. Kandara means cave. In Sanskrit, we say the cave of the heart. In Hindi and English, we say the core of the heart. Spiritu Vasachinandana. May he be manifest within the core of your hearts. So this is where this was hinted at. This is such a special place, Pili Pokhar. So those who are young, you can go down and take some water, bring it up here for those of us who are young in heart. And is that the prasad truck there? Yeah. I see the prasad truck in the background there. Yeah. All right. Also, just a couple of months ago, we published our latest book, Braj Leela, Giriraj, the King of Mountains. Every place on Govardhan. In a couple of days, we'll go to a few places. But it says every place on Govardhan. And we decided to make it a picture book. So there's 284 pictures taken by my dear friend, Artabandhu Arjun Bhattacharya. 32 paintings. We got permission from BBT to use. And if anybody wants to take a copy, we have several copies here. And I'm also here to sign it if you want a copy. We're just asking, it's 353 pages of nectar. We're just asking a small donation of 1,000 rupees. Everybody said, no, you sell it for 15. I said, I want people to know the glories of Govardhan. We'll just sell it to 1,000 rupees. And we can also accept online payments. So anybody who wants a copy, you can come here and somebody can bring water. And then we'll set up sitting here in the shade in this wonderful place. We can do Van Bhojan, forest picnic like Krishna and the Copper Boys. Hare Krishna.